Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me start by saying something simple but powerful. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And if you want to destroy laziness, if you want to put an end to dragging through your days, it starts with what you do every morning. You see, success doesn't come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you do consistently. And if you wake up every morning and let the day take you wherever it wants, well, you'll end up where you didn't want to go. Waking up early is one of the most underestimated habits when it comes to defeating laziness. It's not just about getting out of bed before sunrise. It's about taking back control of your time and your focus. When you wake up early, you give yourself space, mental, physical, and emotional space, to set the tone for the rest of your day. You're not rushing, you're not reacting, you're initiating, and that shift from being reactive to being intentional is what starts to chip away at the roots of laziness. You see, most people let their mornings happen to them. They hit snooze 5 times, they roll out of bed last minute, and they jump straight into obligations, emails, traffic, demands from others. By the time they've truly woken up, half the day is gone and their mindset is already in survival mode. There's no power in that, there's no ownership, and that's where laziness creeps in. Because when you start your day in a state of overwhelm or passivity, your brain starts looking for the path of least resistance. That's when procrastination takes over. That's when you find yourself avoiding the hard things and chasing the easy ones. But waking up early, deliberately, and consistently creates space for clarity. That quiet hour in the morning is a gift. It's where you can plan, reflect, move, breathe, and prepare. It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need a 3-hour routine with yoga, journaling, and a green smoothie. What matters is that you start your day on purpose. You get up when you said you would. You claim the first part of your day before the world takes it from you. That one decision builds discipline. And discipline is the enemy of laziness. Getting up early also builds momentum. When you do something difficult first thing in the morning, whether it's getting out of a warm bed or going for a walk, you train your mind to choose action over comfort. And when your mind gets used to choosing action, it stops tolerating inaction. It stops tolerating excuses. You start seeing laziness not as your personality, but as a temporary pattern that you're breaking. Over time, waking up early becomes less of a struggle and more of a habit. It becomes your normal, and that new normal starts to bleed into the rest of your life. You become more focused during the day, more intentional with your time, and more confident in your ability to follow through. And all of that's the antidote to laziness. Because a person with purpose and momentum doesn't sit around waiting to feel motivated. They act, they lead, they move. So don't underestimate what happens in the first hour of your day. That's where the battle against laziness is won or lost. Start early and you start strong. And when you start strong, you're far less likely to let laziness catch up with you. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to break the grip of laziness is to move your body in the morning. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a gym membership, expensive equipment, or an hour-long workout. You just need motion, because motion creates energy, and energy destroys laziness. When you wake up and start moving, even just a little, you send a message to your brain. The day has begun, and I'm in control. Laziness thrives in stillness. When you lie in bed too long or sit around in the morning without purpose, your body sends signals to your mind that it's still in rest mode. Your brain starts to think it can coast through the day in low gear. And from there, it's a slippery slope. Every task feels heavier, your energy stays low, and your desire to take action keeps slipping away. But when you move, when you stretch, take a walk, do push-ups, or even dance for 5 minutes, your blood starts to circulate, oxygen flows to your brain, and your mindset begins to shift. This isn't just motivational talk, it's science. Physical movement releases endorphins and dopamine, the good chemicals that make you feel alert, confident, and motivated. Even mild exercise can have a profound impact on your mental clarity. That's why so many successful people swear by morning movement. They're not training just for physical fitness, they're training their mind to switch on and stay sharp. Another reason morning movement is so powerful is that it gives you a quick win. Laziness often comes from a lack of momentum. But when you start your day with a win, even something as small as 5 minutes of exercise, you feel accomplished. You did something hard, you followed through, and that sense of progress fuels the rest of your day. You're no longer trying to build motivation from nothing. You've already done something positive, and that momentum can carry you forward into bigger tasks. There's also a psychological shift that comes with moving your body early. It says, I'm not waiting to feel ready, I'm acting anyway. That's a huge difference between successful people and those stuck in laziness. The successful act their way into feeling, the lazy wait until they feel like acting. And those who wait often wait forever. So whether it's jumping jacks in your bedroom, a quick jog around the block, or a light stretch on your floor, the goal is not to be perfect, it's to be in motion. Because motion breaks mental fog, it breaks hesitation, and it breaks the lie that you need motivation before you move. The truth is, your body leads and your mind follows. So the fastest way to destroy laziness is not by thinking harder or waiting for inspiration. It's by standing up, breathing deep, and moving forward. Do that first thing in the morning, and you'll find that laziness simply can't keep up. Writing down your goals each morning is one of the most effective ways to fight off laziness and stay aligned with your purpose. It's a simple habit, yet it has the power to completely reshape the way you think, act, and live. Most people carry vague ideas in their head about what they want: more money, better health, more freedom. But they never take the time to define those desires clearly and specifically, and what isn't clear can't be chased. Without clear goals, your mind has nothing to focus on, and without focus, laziness fills the void. When you write down your goals every morning, you remind yourself of what truly matters. It brings your long-term vision into your short-term awareness. You're not just going through the motions of the day, you're moving with direction. That sense of direction is like a compass. It helps you prioritize what matters and ignore what doesn't. Laziness often shows up when there's no sense of urgency or purpose. But when you're staring at your goals first thing in the morning, when you see your dreams in black and white, there's less room for wasting time. There's also a psychological shift that takes place when you write something down. Thoughts are fleeting and fragile. They disappear in the noise of life. But when you take the time to put your goals on paper, they become more real. They leave your imagination and enter your reality. You start to see them not just as wishes, but as tasks, as responsibilities, as things that must be done. That shift changes everything. You begin to act not out of obligation, but out of commitment. Another key benefit of writing your goals daily is that it keeps them fresh. Life has a way of distracting you: emails, social media, other people's priorities. Without a daily reminder of what you're working toward, it's easy to drift. But when you start your morning by writing your goals, you re-anchor yourself. You reconnect with your vision. You get back on track before the world tries to pull you off it. You don't need a long list. Even 3 to 5 clear goals written with intention each morning is enough. They can be big goals like building a business or getting in shape, or smaller daily targets that move you forward. The important thing is repetition. Writing your goals every day ingrains them into your mind. Over time, you start to see opportunities that align with those goals. You start saying no to distractions. You start building momentum. That momentum is the enemy of laziness. Because a mind that's focused on purpose doesn't have time for delay. A person who looks at their goals every day doesn't sit around waiting for motivation. They create it. They don't ask, should I do this? They say, this is what I do. So if you want to kill laziness at its root, don't just think about your goals. Write them every morning. Watch what happens when you do. Keeping one promise to yourself each day may seem small, but it's a powerful discipline that can completely shift your identity and eliminate laziness over time. Most people break promises to themselves far more often than they realize. They say they'll wake up early, but hit snooze. They say they'll eat better, but reach for junk food. They say they'll get to work, but put it off for just 5 more minutes. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your self-trust. And when your self-trust is weak, laziness gains ground. You stop believing yourself, and when you don't believe yourself, you don't expect much from yourself. That's a dangerous cycle, but the opposite is also true. When you make a promise to yourself, just one small, meaningful commitment, and you follow through, you begin to rebuild that trust. It doesn't matter how small it is. It could be drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, reading 10 pages of a book, going for a short walk, or working on your goal for 30 minutes. What matters is that you do exactly what you said you would do. That single act of follow-through plants a seed of integrity, and when you repeat it daily, that seed grows into confidence, momentum, and personal pride. All enemies of laziness. The reason this works so well is because it simplifies your internal battle. Laziness often thrives in the overwhelm of doing too much. You set 20 goals, plan your entire year in one afternoon, and try to overhaul your life all at once. But eventually, the pressure becomes too much, and you stall out. That's when procrastination creeps in and you end up doing nothing. But when you focus on just one promise, a single action you can control today, you eliminate that overwhelm, you focus your energy, and by doing so, you reclaim your power. Keeping a daily promise to yourself also reinforces your identity as someone who follows through. Your actions shape how you see yourself. When you consistently keep your word, even in small things, you start seeing yourself as someone who is disciplined, focused, and capable. You carry that identity into your work, your relationships, and your decisions. And people who see themselves as capable and driven don't tolerate laziness. They don't wait to feel like doing something. They act because it's who they are. This doesn't mean you'll never miss a day. Life happens. But the more often you keep your word to yourself, the more powerful your habits become. And the stronger your habits, the weaker laziness becomes. Over time, you'll realize that success isn't about giant leaps. It's about small steps repeated with integrity. So ask yourself each morning, asterisk, what's one promise I can make to myself today? Asterisk, then do it. Keep that promise, honor it like it's a vow, because in keeping that promise, you're not just doing a task, you're shaping your future. And the person who keeps promises to themselves is the person who leaves laziness behind. As we wrap up today, I want you to remember this. Asterisk, asterisk, laziness is not a permanent state. Asterisk, asterisk, it's a habit, a mindset that can be broken, one action at a time. Every single morning, you have the power to take control of your day and set yourself on a path of success. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect motivation, or the perfect circumstances. All you need is a commitment to start, no matter how small. Get up early, move your body, feed your mind, write down your goals, and keep one promise to yourself every single day. Do these things consistently and watch how they transform not just your day, but your life. You don't need a dramatic shift. You need small, intentional actions repeated daily that lead to massive changes over time. The best part, you don't have to wait for motivation. You create it. By taking responsibility for your morning and setting the tone for your day, you destroy laziness and make room for greatness. So stand tall, take charge, and let's make today the day you start breaking free from laziness, one small step at a time. You've got this. Your future self is waiting for the actions you take today. Thank you. What you put into your mind first thing in the morning sets the tone for your entire day. Just like your body needs fuel to function, your mind needs the right input to think clearly, stay focused, and stay motivated. If you start your day feeding your mind with negativity, noise, or distraction, it becomes much harder to stay productive or inspired. But if you feed your mind with clarity, purpose, and wisdom, laziness starts to lose its grip on you. Most people don't even realize that their first mental meal of the day is junk. They wake up and immediately scroll through social media, turn on the news, or dive straight into their inbox. These habits condition the brain to be reactive instead of proactive. The mind becomes scattered, overstimulated, or even anxious. Instead of thinking intentionally, it begins to respond to whatever is loudest. And in that reactive state, laziness finds an easy way in, because it's hard to stay focused or productive when your mind is already overwhelmed or misdirected. Feeding your mind in the morning is about choosing what kind of thoughts and ideas you want to carry with you for the rest of the day. Just 10 to 15 minutes of reading something uplifting, listening to an inspiring podcast, or reviewing your goals can completely shift your mental state. It's not about information overload, it's about intentional input. Even a few sentences of a good book or a motivational message can act as mental armor against doubt, distraction, and laziness. This daily mental nourishment trains your brain to seek growth. When you consistently feed your mind positive, empowering content, you start thinking bigger. Your standards rise. You become less tolerant of excuses and more focused on solutions. And the more you strengthen your mindset, the less power laziness has over you. Because laziness thrives in low energy, low belief, and low awareness. But a mind that is focused, educated, and inspired doesn't entertain laziness for long. There's also something deeply powerful about reconnecting with your vision every morning. When you remind yourself of what you're working toward, your goals, your values, your purpose, it reignites your internal fire. It's like planting your feet firmly at the beginning of each day and saying, "This is who I am, this is where I'm going." That clarity creates drive. And drive will always beat laziness. So don't leave your mindset to chance. Take those first few minutes of the day to be deliberate. Read a page from a book that challenges you. Watch a short video that lifts you. Reflect on a quote that speaks to your purpose. Whatever it is, make it intentional and make it consistent. Because a well-fed mind becomes a powerful mind. And a powerful mind doesn't wait around for motivation. It creates it. Feed your mind with greatness in the morning, and laziness won't stand a chance.